Ahem. Okay, we are back. Today is Wednesday, October 8th, 2025. Moving right along. And tonight we are doing we're going into our comfort zone a little bit. Something fun, something that I like. Something that we've seen a lot of DNA for over, the last year of deck builds. Um, so it should feel a little familiar, feel a little nice, comforting, nice and warm and fuzzy and good stuff. So this week we're doing Skittering Precursor. This is one from Modern Horizons 3. This is a card that reads really cool, but I feel like not many people did much with it. But I like it. So we're just gonna blow through it real quick and get started. Start talking about it. So 3 mana up here. See, red 2, Eldrazi, Drunk, Devoid. So see this red mana symbol? It actually has no color. Has menace, so 3 mana, 3 menace is pretty good rate. And then it has this text: whenever you sacrifice a non-token permanent, you make an Eldrazi spawn. Those are the 0/1s you sacrifice to make a colorless mana. So this is a card that wants us to sacrifice a lot of things, which I like. It also wants us to play with actual real cards and not just spam tokens and game objects, which I also like. So I feel like when you have to actually invest real cards into making this sort of creature work, you have to make better decisions. It's more interesting. The interactions between cards matter a lot more. It's just a more robust game experience. I find them just if this triggered off sacrificing any kind of a permanent and you're just okay, spam treasure tokens or whatever, it's easy, lame, boring. Who cares? But this way we get to play a lot of cool cards. This is a Twig deck. I've talked about that a little bit in the past. Twig, short for Wanderer's Twig, a 1 mana artifact. You can sacrifice for mana to go find a basic land. It refers to decks that care a lot about, kind of like Eggs decks, but a little bit more than that. These decks that generally have lower land counts that can compensate with Wanderer's Twigs. There's a handful of analogs. There are cards that care about actually sacrificing, so I like kind of the egg component. And there's just a suite of cards that I really enjoy. So that's what we're going to do here. What we're going to do with all of these Eldrazi spawns remains to be seen. We can just ramp into big things if we want. We can cast Fireball, who knows? It's pretty non-prescriptive. It just wants us to sacrifice stuff. So the first card we're going to put in here is a card you don't really see anywhere else. Furnace Skullbomb. For those of you unaware, Skullbomb for a cycle of Spellbomb-esque cards from All Will Be One. Furnace Skullbomb, the worst of the 5 by a significant margin. They all have this text. They're all 1 mana artifacts and sacrifice for a mana to draw a card. And then they have an activated ability in their color that does a certain thing. This one adds oil counters to a thing, which doesn't matter in 99.9% of decks. So we just want it because you sacrifice a draw card. When we sacrifice it, we make a token. If you think of it we're investing 2 mana to make a creature and draw a card. So it's kind of like an Elvish Visionary, except a little bit better because we can cash that creature in for more mana, which is cool. I can tell you right now, we're not going to be doing Pinger stuff. We might play Hissing Iguanar. We'll get to that one later. That's a card that cares about when things die, but I don't want to play a bunch of these cards that, when an artifact enters, everyone takes a damage. When a creature enters, everyone takes a damage, because Solitaire is boring. We want to play cards that encourage us to interact with our opponents through combat, make decisions, point at people and say, I target you with this, you with this, you with this, you with this. Not everyone takes a damage, everyone takes a damage, everyone takes a damage. I don't care what all y'all are doing. I'm just going to spam things and passively kill everybody. I think that's really boring. So anyway, Furnace Skullbomb's kind of the template what we're going for here. Let's look at cards that care about sacrifice. Sacrifice. There we go. These will be cards that give us bonus, that care about us sacrificing permanents, so other things kind of like the Precursor that care about us sacrificing stuff, payoffs for that. Cards that actually have abilities that actually sacrifice themselves, obviously things like Alchemist File is a good example, ETB, draw a card, pay 1, sacrifice it, makes the thing unable to attack or block. It's a pretty versatile card, one that I like quite a bit, so we're going to put that in here. Whenever I play this card in a lot of decks, and whenever I kind of get to it, it always is worth mentioning again that cards that mess with combat are really valuable. Cards that take blockers out, cards that prevent people from attacking. People play with such slim margins. It's a very battlefield-focused format. You're really going to mess people up with this. There's also a handful of cards like this that let you sacrifice artifact or land to draw a card. Some are better than others. We might play one or two of them. We may not need to because there's a lot of other ways to sacrifice things that are a little more proactive than just like drawing a card, especially since a lot of these cards are going to draw us cards anyway. We're not going to play Ashdod's Altar because that's stupid. We're going to do cool stuff. Notably, this cares about non-token permanents, which includes lands. So like fetch lands will trigger it. There's another good example, Barbed Sextant. It's kind of like a chromatic sphere. Adds a cast for mana, pay mana, sacrifice, add a mana of any color, so you just kind of cashed in for mana. And then this has a delayed draw trigger. Chromatic Sphere draws when it's activated. This one is delayed, but still kind of what we're in the market for. The reason why these cards are great is because they help us keep up our velocity. We're not just gonna like run out of cards. We just cash these in, keep generating tokens, and then we can use those to cast larger things. Welcome, Bill. Oh yeah, I did record an episode of PDH Pod coming out this Friday. The pre-show dropped for patrons this evening. So Bill's just getting a Derek full evening here. Bitter Reunion is another one I like. There's a handful of cards like this that ETB let you like do Tormenting Voice stuff, and you can sacrifice them for other effects. This one gives haste, which is really useful. I'm gonna play Bitter Reunion. This card's kind of weird because it's an enchantment. Usually cards that have this kind of functionality are artifacts. There's another one that we'll get to later that came out in Edge of Eternities that we'll highlight as well. Blood Aspirant is a card that I'll talk a little bit about. This card's worth talking about. Blood Aspirant is a common from Commander Masters. It was an uncommon in Theros Beyond Depth. So this card can be your commander if you wanted to. It's in the 99 of this deck. This card is kind of like another side of the coin, so to speak. Whereas like with Precursor, we're sacrificing things to generate tokens to do other things. This one, you sacrifice stuff to make it huge and attack. There's a couple cards like this. There's a black one from Edge of Eternities. Whenever you sacrifice a creature or an artifact, it gets a 1/1 counter. This is very, very similar. So you could do this kind of strategy in other colors in various different ways. They're textured a little bit differently, while the macro strategy remains the same. Something that I really enjoy, honestly. This card's really cool. I really like that it can be in the 99. It just gets huge. It's kind of like Gixie Infiltrator in black. It's the same kind of card, except this one you can actually like take blockers out if you want to, which is really cool. Bookmark Dragonheart's pretty cool. Alright, here's some good stuff. Candy Trail. Oh, hello. Candy Trail is 1 mana ETB Scry 2, and it's a food, so you sacrifice it to gain some life and draw a card. Kind of exactly what we're in the business for. We can do Catalyst Elemental things. I'm not particularly interested in these sorts of creatures. Chromatic Sphere and Chromatic Star are really kind of easy shoo-ins in this kind of realm. Just like they're mana neutral when you activate them, and they draw you a card. And every single one of these, like, not only will they replace themselves, but they'll generate a spawn. So we're always coming out ahead on these activations. Collateral damage, I kind of like, because this is a way that we can use our creatures as well. Like when we're generating all these tokens, we can sacrifice them to collateral damage to lightning bolt something. I'll probably come back to these. Right now I just kind of want to get the artifacts out of the way. Conjurer's Bauble, another great one. 1 mana artifact. You can sacrifice it to shuffle a card back in your library and draw a card. That's kind of, whatever. The fact that it's just a 1 mana artifact that cantrips is exactly what we want here. Okay, moving on. There's a handful of lands also that you can sacrifice for various things. Dark Violet Oracle's another great thing here. This is a way that we can cash in our spawns to get access to more cards. Just sacrifice a creature, exile top card, and you can play it. Really good. Demand Answers, sacrifice an artifact or discard a card to draw 2 cards. Perfect. Let's put collateral damage in. Well, I don't like collateral damage as much as some others, which we'll get to, but so maybe we'll come back to that. Downhill Charge is target creature. With all the tokens, like a Trumpet Blast might be interesting as a way to close out a game. Downhill charge just, you sacrifice a mountain so you get a trigger, but then you only make one thing big. I don't really care about that as much. Ecologist Terrarium is an honorary Wanderer's Twig. It's a 2-mana artifact, ETB. You get a land, put it into your hand, and you can sacrifice to put a counter on something, which is pretty cool. I'm going to play that one. Mostly the important thing here is it's an artifact that can sacrifice itself, so we're not relying on drawing into cards like Demand Answers in order to cash in our artifacts. We can just kind of like keep it rolling here with these cards. Elsewhere Flask is another one. Let's play Elsewhere Flask. Elsewhere Flask has no real functionality outside of being cashed in for a card. We can turn our lands into any land type if we want to, but that's never going to matter. Just 2-mana artifact, sacrifices for free at instant speed, which is good. Pretty cool. The ability to like make tokens at instant speed with the cards like this, and other cards as well, obviously. Like some have activations that you can only do as a sorcery, like the Terrarium, but most of them you can use at instant speed to generate tokens or blockers. Embercle's Hatcher makes more spawn, make 3. Oh, it makes a lot of bodies. Go back to that. Alright, Expedition Map is great. Because not only are there just like a handful of good like utility lands, but this can also just find us a fetch land to just like chain a token generating object into another token generating object. World Map is another one. Again, this is kind of like an honorary twig. It's a little more expensive, one to cast, 2 to activate. Most of the best ones are 1 to cast, 1 to activate. Synthesizer is a great one. Rental Synth gives us a card on the way in and on the way out. Exile's top card, you can play it. Simple, to the point, a sick one. Final Firebrand. Fire Conclusion is interesting. Fire Blast, how is this card phrased? Okay, so casting this will make 2 tokens, deal 4 damage or something. It's worth considering. I'll come back to that one. Kind of want to get the essential stuff in here first. Fountain Port Bell. 1-mana artifact, puts a land on top of your library, sacrifice to draw a card. So it gets you a land. If you don't need to sacrifice, you can clear it off immediately if you want to by investing another mana, or you can draw it on your turn, on your next turn rather, or with another card, and then just cash this in for a random. This card I actually like quite a bit. It's a lot better than it reads. It plays really well. Found footage, 1, 2 sacrifice, travail 2, draw a card. Yep. It's funny when you think of it, like all of these cards equal a creature basically, so we don't need to like worry about our creature count at the end of the day because every single one of these is going to count towards that. Ginger Brute is a food. Not as good. It doesn't draw me a card. It's only sacrifice permanent, Goblin Blast Runner. This card's kind of small potatoes, but I like the synergy, right? Like, with a bunch of spawn, we can just give this thing menace every turn if we want to. Chirurgeon, we're definitely going to play. There's not very many ways to protect your stuff in red. Goblin Chirurgeon is a good one. Also, it triggers our commander. We could go like more heavily into goblins, have something like Goblin Grenade, Goblin Lookout. You can hear Junie in the background. She's in her crate because every time we let her out, she goes into the couch and starts chewing it, which puts her in timeout. All right, Golden Egg. Golden Egg's pretty good. I like food cards like this, like food cantrips in red decks, because there's not a lot of great ways to gain life outside of them, and just gaining a handful of life here and there is really valuable, especially in like a metagame that's kind of like rampant with pingers. Your life total a lot of times will just kind of very gradually decline passively, and having ways to bump yourself above your opponents is pretty good. This is Gold Hound, cash in for mana. No, I really just want to get cards, you know. 100 Fangraph's a great one, we'll definitely play that. Heartfire is good. So this is kind of like collateral damage, except it costs 2 mana and it deals 4 damage. I like this threshold a lot better. Like the 4 damage number is much better than 3. 2 mana, I mean, it's not significant in this deck because we have so many mana sources with these spawns, but Heartfire is awesome. This can hit any target too. This is not something that just is limited to creatures. This can hit players. These cards that hit, like burn spells like this that hit players are really good. 4 damage to somebody's face is not insignificant. Quit Herbal Poultice. This is a little expensive though. 3 mana is a lot to leave up. Although, again, like we have a lot of spawns. Highway Robbery going to play. This one we can sacrifice land, draw 2 cards. It's a good one. Or we can discard a card, but sacrificing land is generally going to be better. Implement of Combustion is kind of a pet card of mine. I think this card's really cool. Just 1 mana to cast, 1 mana to sacrifice, deals the damage to a player, you get to draw a card. And you don't even have to activate it, it's just when it's put into a graveyard you draw. So we can sacrifice this to Demand Answers, or any other effect that sacrifices a permanent, which we're going to have more of as we build out the deck. Improvised Club is kind of like Heartfire, except a little bit better. It can sacrifice an artifact or a creature, deals 4 damage to any target. This card's great. Any deck where you're playing, any red deck where you're playing a bunch of artifacts, Improvised Club is a really good include. Infernal Plunge we don't really care about. There's 2 of these cards I can instantly mandate that you can sacrifice it along with discarding a card to draw a card. I mean, it's kind of, again, like small potatoes. Instant Ramen is made fun of, but it's good. It's functional. 2 mana, flash, draw a card, sacrifice, get it to food, you know. I kind of like Kami of Industry. So this is a card that I think is overlooked a lot because it seems pretty niche. When it ETBs, you return an artifact from your graveyard to the battlefield with mana value 3 or less, and then at the end of your turn, you sacrifice the artifact. So it's kind of like a sneak attack, sort of, from the yard. So you can use this for things like, at its best, it's when you return something like Ichor Wellspring, for example. You know, bring it out of your graveyard, you draw a card when it enters, it sacrifices on its own at the end of your turn, so you don't even need like an effect to do it. You draw another card on its way out. Like being able to rebuy artifacts like that's pretty good. And it's like a big body too. So we'll probably put that card. I like that one. Make a lander token. This card's cool, but not, again, not really in the token business with this one. I'll take treasures and stuff like or treasures, landers, whatever, but this deck is not built around them by any stretch. Play Kuldotha Rebirth. This is not really a tokens deck though. Lembas is another great one. Lightning Spear is a pretty great equipment. I've talked about this one before. A really versatile card. Where is it? Lightning Spear. It's easy to cast and easy to equip, which is like the first thing I look for. 2 mana equipment, equips for 1, gives a thing +1 power and trample. So you kind of get 2 things for a pretty good cost, and then you can sacrifice to lightning bolt something, any target. This card's really good. It's really, again, like very versatile. Could play Lotus Petal. I'm not particularly interested, but it definitely does sacrifice itself to give us a card. Lunatic Pandora, no. Malden Moxite's one I mentioned earlier. Could probably put makeshift munitions, honestly. This card ends up being pretty good. It always seems like it's not going to make a huge impact, but being able to ping stuff is really good, especially when we have a lot of artifacts that just like care about dying, not necessarily artifacts that like, you know, where their ability to replace themselves is not tied to their activation. So like, for example, Makeshift Musicians is really good with Ichor Wellspring, Mycosynth Wellspring, Prize Statue, Nimblewright Schematic, Chromatic Star, Implement a Combustion, these sorts of cards. And those just kill stuff. Melted Moxite's one that I mentioned earlier from Edge of Eternities. So it's an ETB, discard, draw 2, and then it sacrifices itself to make a creature token, which is good. So we pay 3. So we pay 2. We get our card selection or whatever. Then we have this game object, and then we can sacrifice it for 3 and make 2 tokens, a 2/2 and a 0/1 that we can sacrifice for more mana. Like, this deck is really good at just kind of like giving itself the resources it needs to just shotgun through a bunch of things and draw a ton of cards, which I actually really enjoy, if I'm being honest. Nutrient Block is a new one, but kind of what we want, because this is another one, when it is put into a graveyard, you draw a card. The sacrifice and the draw are 2 different things, which is important. It's an important distinction. Also, it's indestructible, so no one can kill our Nutrient Block. If someone identifies our Nutrient Block as the threat, they are not allowed to kill it, which is pretty reassuring, Ominous Parcel, not quite what I'm in for here. Panic Spellbomb is awesome. This is a card that I just really enjoy. It's very reminiscent of Alchemist File in the sense that it can remove a blocker. That's just the baseline functionality of this card. 1 mana, tap, sacrifice card creature can't block this turn, and then it has the text where you can pay a red when it dies to draw an extra card. There's another one, just like Nutrient Block, cares about going to the graveyard. It doesn't care about whether you use its activated ability or not. Can't stress enough how like important that distinction is and how it comes into play. Pirate Spell Bomb, on the other hand, is one where you actually need to sacrifice it to draw the card with its activated ability, but it's one of the best cards that we have access to. Just a colorless source of 2 damage. It's a good removal spell. Rapacious one we're definitely going to play, because this one makes us more guys. Rapacious one. This card is like a really cool downshift. 5/4 for 6, trample. Whenever it deals combat damage to a player, you make that many spawns. So one connection with this thing and we're off to the races. Let's see. Reckless Lackey. So we pay 3, sacrifice this, draw a card, make a treasure, and make a spawn. That seems not bad. I really just want cards to replace themselves. It's kind of... And Red Herring's actually interesting, because this is a clue that is a real card. So we can cash this in to draw a card, and then make a spawn. The only thing is it has to attack every turn, so this is something where you just kind of want to play it out and sacrifice it as soon as you can to draw that card. But cashing things in for cards is exactly what we're in the business for here. Renegade Map is another twig. Renegade Map is a 1-mana artifact. ETB's tapped. And then you can sacrifice a search for a basic land, put it into your hand. Did my Mox Field just freeze here? Come on now. Renegade Map. We can keep looking while this is going. Shapatian Simulacrum is a really great removal spell. A good Modern Horizons 3 card. Wow, it's just broken. It's just broken. So we're definitely play Serpadian Simulacrum. Seal of Fire is another good one too. It's kind of like Pirate Spell Bomb. It's just, in fact, like one of the things that make these cards so powerful is they just sit on the battlefield and dissuade people from doing anything to you, which is worth a lot. Let's just close out of this. We'll go to Mox Field. We'll go back in here. And we're back. Did I get the... Oh, no. Okay, so we need the Renegade Map. Here we go. Boom. Back in business. Serpadian Simulacrum. Plus this is a Goblin, which matters in terms of our Goblin version here. Just like weaving these little synergies together is really good. Scroll of Avacyn. This is like the bottom of the barrel cantrip artifacts, but I'm going to play it. Actually, yeah, we're going to do that, and then I'm going to put some mountains in here before I forget. We'll play like 32 mountains. We'll start there. Because we're going to be able to churn through cards so much that we're going to draw into a lot of lands. We'll play Seal of Fire. Obviously a little worse in some ways than Pirate Spell Bomb, but also a little bit better because it doesn't require any mana to activate. It just kills something, which is sick. Okay. Shard Valley, sacrifice a land for a Lightning Bolt. It's not bad. But if I play this one, it makes no sense to not play the other one. So, maybe. Skittering Prospector, sacrifice Goblin, add a red. I don't think we really need to do that. Slide Scrapper we're going to play. This is a good one. I mentioned earlier these sorts of cards that let you sacrifice artifacts and lands to draw cards. This is probably my favorite one because it is an artifact itself, which matters sometimes. And it has 2 toughness. It's just got a lot of things going for it. It costs 1 mana versus the other ones that cost 2. It's a good card. Spare Supplies. 2 mana ETB draw. Ooh, Sleeper Dart's actually another one too. Sleeper Dart is kind of like Alchemist Vial. This just locks down a creature. It just basically stuns something that's tapped. So if you're being attacked by something, someone attacks you with a thing, then you can just lock it down for a turn, and it replaces itself automatically, which is great. Spawning Breath, deal damage, make a token. No, don't care about that. Autonomous Furnace, love that. Terrarian, this is a good one. This is another one that dies draw. Cashes in for mana if we want to do that. Kind of everything we want. Play Thunderclap. This is it deals 3 damage to a creature. We can cast it for free by sacrificing a land. So it triggers our commander, which is exactly what we want. Traveler's Amulet. Basically like functional reprint of Wanderer's Twig, same thing. You know, sacrifice or starter for basic land, put it in your hand. Basically like draw a card, except you know what the card is every time, you know. Voltage Surge, I like. Voltage Surge is an interesting one. It's a damage spell that can't hit players, which kind of sucks. But the cool thing about it is it's a 1 mana lets you sacrifice an artifact. It's a privilege, you know, to be able to sacrifice your artifact sometimes. And it deals 4 damage or something for 1 mana. It's like, again, like it's a card that's better than you might think. Wayfarer's Bauble, we'll play 2. Got 20, a lot of artifacts. We're at 79 cards. Okay, doing great. Doing great. Wedding Invitation, obviously. Wedding Invitation is awesome. ETB draw card makes something unblockable. It's pretty great. And then we'll play Wizard's Rockets and World Map. Wizard's Rockets is just like a little Terrarian. Just a 1 mana version. You can sacrifice for any number you want, but the important thing is when it dies, you draw. And then the last one was World Map. World Map is like probably one of my favorite cards out of Final Fantasy. It's like White Aura Sight and then World Map right under there. Because it's a Wanderer's Twig, right? Like 1 mana to cast, 1 mana to activate, search life for basic and put it into your hand. But it also has the ability to sacrifice and just find any land you want if you have the mana to do it. The baseline functionality is just like the 1 and then the first ability, which is exactly what I want. But this additional functionality is really valuable, especially in this deck where we're going to be playing cards or lands that sacrifice themselves to do things. You know, like the Discover land, the Autonomous Furnace is a land that sacrifices itself to draw a card, etc. Let's play Wildfield Scarecrow. It gets us some lands, but I don't think we need to do that. It's kind of mana intensive. Okay, so this is a good place to start. What we'll do now is we'll get those Ichor Wellspring cards. Inchur Wellspring, I spelled it wrong. Ichor Wellspring, Mycosin, Wellspring, Prize, Statue, oh hello, Statue. It's one that makes treasure tokens when it enters and leaves, and then Nimble Right makes 1/1 tokens when it enters and leaves. So that's just another great thing to use with our things like Voltage Surge, Improvise Club, Demand Answers, like for Scrapper, etc. Let's see. We've got how many artifacts here? 35. So we want to play. Okay, I'll get into that search later because I think there's multiple cards with the templating that I'm thinking about. But before that, let's find out what cards let us descend. Just Child of Volcano. I built a deck a while ago with that red-black EOE card, the artifact creature that it's a Gravedigger, and then at the end of your turn, if something left the battlefield or died or whatever, it gets a counter. Child of the Volcano is similar. It's 4 mana, 3/3 trample at the beginning of your end step if you descended. So if a permanent went to the graveyard, a permanent card, so like any of these, it gets a 1/1 counter, so it just grows. It's a trampler, so it's pretty cool. And then there's a Kavu. Hold on. Void. Whoops. Oh, because it's going to have all the devoids of. Okay, so we can just kind of with this. Cavern Skywarn is what I'm thinking of. Much like Child Volcano, just a big guy, a 5 mana 4/5 at the beginning of your end step. If an online permanent left the battlefield, gets a counter, so it grows. I like cards that grow. There's a lot of equity in having the biggest thing on the battlefield. You know, it's just the way that the game is. Are there any other cool void cards? There's just this one. Deals 3 damage. Sorcery speed to any target. I don't think that's really worth it. Let's see, bargain is another thing. Let's say sacrifice artifacts. This is a good keyword. So Torch the Tower. Okay, it's the only one. So this is a card. 1 mana, 2 damage to a creature. Or we can bargain it. So basically, you just sacrifice an artifact or enchantment or a token, which we're gonna have tons of. And if you bargain it, so if you do that, if you kick it, basically, it deals 3 damage, and then you get to scry 1, and then you get to exile the thing. It's just a really versatile removal spell. Pretty cool. Non-creature spells. Burning Prophet. This is really great in a deck like this because we're just going to be kind of like chaining into stuff, and our creature count's not going to be super high. Going to have a lot of non-creature spells. And whenever we cast one, we get to scry one, and this gets bigger, which is pretty cool. Really valuable card. Really like this. It goes in a lot of decks, and it's really, really good. Crackling Cyclops, possibly. It's kind of like lower on the list, just because it's something that only triggers every turn. It's like an end of turn thing. Firebrand Archer, so we are not touching these cards. Whenever you cast a non-creature spell, deals a damage to each opponent. We're not in that business, and I refuse to do it. Spellgorger, Weird, and Pyroceratops we will play as well. So whenever you cast a non-creature spell, it gets bigger. Same thing here. This one just has Trample. We will play both of these cards. Pyroceratops, Spellgorger, Weird. We have a fair amount of removal. Let me just kind of take a look around here. Probably cut those. Got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8-ish. Pirate Spellbomb is 9. So we got like a fair amount of interaction. Enough that I'm comfortable. Enough to where I don't need to like prioritize it when I'm filling out the rest of these, 9 slots. So the cards care about artifacts. Oh, Galvanic Blast. It's a Metalcraft, deal 4 damage to any target. Just like, again, like really great burn spell. The burn spells I think are going to help us a lot. So the cards that care about artifacts. There's probably a ton. 300, yeah. Red is a good artifact color. Artillerize is like another one of these. It's just it costs 4 mana, which I don't like that very much. This thing just gets bigger. It's just like a clue, basically, or a treasure, but it's a real card. That might be worth playing, honestly. Because we can exile out of our graveyard and discover, as like on the back end, which I kind of like. But I'm not super high on it. Let's see. I'm just kind of gonna blow through here and make sure I'm not missing anything. What time is it? 7:33. So we're making good time. Got the synthesizer. Got this. Don't need explosive apparatus. Again, like it's just costly. You know, 3 mana activates a lot. Oh, Fortune Centurion. Whenever another creature artifact is put into graveyard. So whenever we sacrifice one of our tokens, basically, or whenever our artifact dies, gets an oil counter, and then we can move oil counters to make things not block. Okay, that's good. Because we're gonna have like some large creatures at the end of the day. Ooh, Foundry Inspector seems really good here. Artifacts got 37. Yeah, let's play a Foundry Inspector. We're gonna play Mirror Retriever and all of this. Let us rebuy our stuff. Workshop Assistant. When these cards die, we can just rebuy any one of our artifacts to keep drawing more cards. And we have plenty of ways to sacrifice some of this stuff. So I'm not worried about that. Don't really care about the affinity stuff. We're not really doing that. Tomb Raider's kind of boring. We can play Golem Foundry. I mean, yeah, let's play Golem Foundry. This is just one that, you know, helps us generate threats for casting our artifacts. So whenever we cast an artifact, it's a counter, move 3 counters, make a 3/3. It's not like an exciting card, but it kind of definitely fills a role. We'll put it that way. We got Icarwell Spring, Infernal Captor. is interesting. This is one with exploit, Hill Giant with exploit. When it exploits a creature, you can threaten a thing, which is interesting. Flashcraft with artifact. What does this turn into? Oh, an equipment. Don't really care about that. Jack-o'-lantern's another cantrip artifact. Let's see. I'll play. Okay, so we'll cut Scroll of Avacyn and we'll play Jack-o'-lantern. Because this one at least lets us. They both cost a mana. They both cost a mana to sacrifice to draw your card. This one has the added functionality of just exiling a card from your graveyard, which is definitely relevant a lot of the time. We're not playing Karkland Shaman. We're not doing Cold Out the Rebirth stuff. I don't really even want to do Karkland Stoker stuff. Call me boring. You know, whatever. Mind Stone's interesting. I do like me a Mind Stone. This is kind of what we're looking for, right? Like a cheap artifact that we can cash in for a card. Maybe. I don't have a ton of space left, right? Like, yeah, 97 cards. Plus, I definitely want to include one or two things to, like, utilize our tokens, push them over the edge a little bit, you know? Like a Trumpet Blaster or some effect like that that works with what we're trying to do. Reckless Fireweaver, go away, nobody likes you. We're not going to play Relic of Progenitus because we're actually going to be utilizing our graveyard. We don't want to exile all of them. Yeah, these are not. I guess Convoke is pretty interesting, right? 6 damage to a creature, planeswalker, destroy an artifact. This ain't the worst. This is pretty cool, actually. Maybe we'll come back to that. That's definitely worth considering. Already got a Selectral Scrapper. I played with this deck a lot in my, I have a 4-color artifact deck, and this card is very good. It's a good one, I like it. Smash the Smithereens, Hear the Suns, we're not doing Spare Supplies, not doing Star Compass, we're not doing Sunshot Militia, we're not doing Pings, we're playing a game of Magic, we're not playing Solitaire. I refuse to play Solitaire. We got Wanderer's Twig and everything, right? We didn't get Wanderer's Twig. What an oversight. I guess I was talking about another card and forgot about it. There we go. There we go. Where's the sacrifice our record checks on top card until your next turn? It's interesting. Let's put that in there. We got room for one more card. One more card. Let's look at creatures you control. So these are cards that are going to care about a lot of creatures. It's going to have all your whatchamacallits, trumpet blasts and things, but maybe there's other things I care about. All creatures you can sacrifice an enchantment creature, all creatures get +2/+0. That's interesting. I like that it is an enchantment that you can kind of like put on a creature and then save. The thing though is that like a card like a Trumpet Blast is not going to be good unless you have a large enough board to take advantage of it, and I'm not sure what that's going to look like yet. That's the problem. So I'm just going to go through and see what kind of effects will affect the entire board. Well, Monstrosity is interesting. I like this card. Oh, Orchestra Flame. That's a great one, actually. Because it'll give all of our attackers +1/+0, so it'll turn all of our spawns into 1/1s. That seems like a good compromise. Because that'll affect, like, all of our other creatures, too. So it's not dead if we don't have a huge board. Kind of like that. Kinda like that. Okay, Orchestra Flame. Boom. Okay. So we've got 100 cards. Let's get some lands. We're gonna do like Terramorphic, um, Evolving Wilds, um, Cityscape, the one from Spider-Man, Marvin Cityscape, the Tunnel, Cabaret Courtyard, Riveteer's Overlook. A lot of tap lands, but that's okay. Riveteer's Overlook, what's the other red one? This is the Jund one, the Naya one, Grixis, Maestro's Theater, Autonomous Furnace, Cave. I don't know what it's called. Oh, Hidden something. Oh, not Hidden Grotto, shoot. Hidden Volcano. And then we'll go from here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. There's enough lands that sacrifice themselves, and then yeah, we can get our Hidden Volcano or our Autonomous Furnace with our world maps and expedition maps and stuff. Okay. All right, 100 cards. Got a $16 deck here. Let's see. Let's mix it up a little bit, and we'll just kind of take it for a spin. Draw for turn. Okay, this hand is good. We'll play. I kind of want to hold this until I get the commander out, so we'll just gamble and hope we get another land here. I'm gonna play a mountain and pass next turn. Okay, Furnace is good. And then we can. I guess we should cast this turn 1, but whatever. Just pass this found footage. Okay. Turn 3. Let's get our guy. And now we can start doing stuff. So for our land for turn, we're just gonna cast this. We're gonna cast our Evolving Wilds. We're gonna sacrifice it. We're gonna trigger, make a spot. Gonna get a mountain. Put on battlefield, tapped. I already played land this turn, so I kind of want to save this. Let's get. Maybe we should have done is cast this first, and then did this. So then this gets a counter. And we have a mana up in case we want to, like, torch something, which is, maybe likely. We can just, hold on or whatever. All right, another land. So let's do this first. Sacrifice this, counter here, token, surveil 2. Ooh, I like these. Put this one in the graveyard and this one on top, and then we'll draw this. We will cast this, and we'll draw a card. We will sacrifice these, put 2 counters here. Cast this, search for a land, put it in our hand. We will. Did I draw a card for this? Yeah, I did. Okay, we're going to cast Torch Tower, sacrifice this, draw a card, make a token. We get this another counter. Like, this thing just gets huge. See? Like, this card is really cool. I like this card. Okay, anyway. We've got that. Okay, next turn. So look at all these lands we got. We got 32 lands in the deck. We're just drawing like crazy. Actually, before we do that, we're just going to cast the Synthesizer. And we'll exile this. We're going to play that for sure. We'll play Prophet. Let's cast Munitions. Play land for turn. Cast this. Actually, yeah, we cast Munitions. Trigger that Scry. Leave that one top. I'll cast Seal Fire. Do the same thing. Sacrifice, kill something. Make another one of these. Make this guy bigger. Got 2 mana now. So let's sacrifice this, activate this, sacrifice this. Make another token. Get a land. Okay. Let's get this out here. Cast this. Trigger here, scry. We'll keep that one on top. I like that one. Did I shuffle my library? Oh yeah, I guess I did. We'll leave that one on top, and then what we'll do is we will sacrifice this, exile this, counter here, another token. We'll cast this. Oh, I guess in the center we draw a card too, right? And now, like, we have 3 more mana we can use for stuff. We've got, like, this thing. Even if, like, we're not doing a whole lot, we can just cast this, and then, like, next turn, you know, we can, you know, sacrifice this to make another one. We can sacrifice this to make another one. We can, you know, cast this, and then cast this, sacrifice this, make another one, and now we just have, like, we can attack with all these because they're 1/1s. Yeah, this seems good. Or we can just, like, sacrifice them and just start exiling cards off the top of our library to cast. That seems fun. Cool. Alright, what time is it? 7:46? We'll fish this a couple more times. You kind of see what we're doing here. Let me see. I already looked at cards that care about artifacts. So let's see. Whenever you cast, I wonder if this will turn up anything interesting. Because I can already tell there's some cards. Oh, Arcbound Tracker. That's a great one. So Arcbound Tracker is a great card because it will cut the Reckless Lackey. It is a threat, like a really good threat. Where is he? Up here. So it's a 3-mana 2/2. It's modular 2, so enters with 2 counters. Whenever you cast your second spell onward, for every spell you cast, it gets a 1/1 counter. This thing gets huge really quick. I play this in my artifact deck. Like I mentioned before, it's a 4-color artifact deck, non-green, and this thing just gets huge. In a deck with this many like cheap artifacts, it's just it's gonna get real big real fast. Let's cut Warehouse Thief. Maybe there's something I like better. Warehouse Thief is not that impressive to me. You kind of see how fast we blow through cards, right? This thing's like usually going to be attacking for like 6 damage, like a 6/4 every turn. Maybe we should just play that. Alright, spell check, block, instant sorcery. Not gonna gutter snipe, that's for sure. Guess your second spell deals 4 damage to each opponent, or damage each opponent. Nope. This is like Crackling Cyclops at worse. We're not doing pingers. Pyromancer is interesting. Gives us a lot of mana. Maybe we'll play Rodeo Pyromancers. I kind of like that. Let's do that. Cool. Alright, let's bring it back in. We'll just play with this. This hand seems pretty sick. Okay. Draw. Trojan is perfect. It's a perfect turn 1. Turn 2. Beautiful, beautiful prize statue. Make a treasure. Turn 3, we cast our commander, and we're kind of off to the races. We can sacrifice this to cast this expedition map. Just get that out there. Alright, so let's see. Let's kind of want to get, like, establish this Foundry Inspector. Can't really do much else this turn, but that's okay. Because this turn, oh, I guess I can do this and then sacrifice it to get a mountain and make a token. Right, I forgot to do that. Okay, so now we're on turn 5. We got a Barb Sextant. We got this. We can play both these this turn. Let's get this Prophet out first. And we'll cast this for free. We'll cast this for 1 ETB draw. We'll just sacrifice this to make another token. Get to scry. Put this on the bottom. We could actually get 2 scries. So we'll put this on the bottom. This one leave on top. Sacrifice this for a red. Cast this. Sacrifice this, activate this, make another token. Surveil 2. We'll put this one on the bottom. This one on top. We'll draw a card. Cast this, sacrifice this, draw a card, make a token. Cast this. These are just like more scries too. Oh, we're going to keep that one for sure. In fact, what we can even do is just draw it now if we want to, but we're not going to. All right, let's get this out here because this thing is going to be huge. 1, 2, 3. Actually, we'll just sacrifice 3 of these. Just keep like some mana open. Some red mana. We need at least 1 for Heartfire, which we will cast. Sacrifice this, make a treasure, make a spawn. Let's just cash this in, draw a card, make one of those, cast this for free. We're doing some scries. I'm just kind of going through. You kind of, you know, I'm not the best scry here. We're gonna leave that one on top though. We'll leave these up so that we draw this, and then which we're gonna do, but. And all the while this is happening, mind you, like this thing's getting some power. We can attack here. We can attack with this as menace. This thing's getting bigger this turn. Now we have the synthesizer. We're gonna exile this, which we're gonna cast. Even though we can't. Actually, what we can do is hold on to this. We'll sacrifice this to find a land. Whoops. Mountain, make a token. We'll cast this, discard this, draw 2. This is good. Play land, sacrifice this, draw this. So we get a scry here. What's up on the bottom? I guess it doesn't matter because I'm going to be searching for a mountain anyway, but. Lander's tapped. We're already back to like 5 spawns. So we can like sacrifice 3 of these. Whoop. Sacrifice this, make 1, make a robot. This is fun. End of turn, this gets bigger. Oh, Aspirin's great here. Great thing about this is that we can just like activate this thing at instant speed, sacrifice all of our spawns, just make it huge in combat. That's pretty cool. Yeah, so we got this thing. We can do 1, you know, 2, 3. Sacrifice this, exile that, cast this for free. Sacrifice this, make a spawn. I guess we got a scry here, we'll leave that one on top. Because we can do this, sacrifice this, draw this, make it spawn. Pay 1, cast this. Yeah, like this is, you know, if you want to do the boring thing, you can play things like Witty Roastmaster. Obviously, you kill people very quickly with cards like that in a deck like this. I like this style of deck where you just kind of like are maybe not doing the most powerful thing, but it's a lot of fun. You get to take a lot of game actions, and you get to like attack with this thing, get to care about this thing, get to care about this thing. But like, there's a version of this deck with Witty Roastmaster, Reckless Fireweaver, Molten Gatekeeper, all that stuff. That just, you know, does so much damage, just cashing these things in and making more tokens constantly. All right, let's do 1 more. 754. We have time for 1 more, and I am down for it. This hand is great. Okay, I'm gonna draw. Turn 1, cast Wayfarer's Bubble. Turn 2, let's just cast the Psychologist Terrarium, get this out of the way now, get our mountain. Turn 3, oh, I love Burning Prophet. Alright, cast this. So now we're going to start doing some stuff. Domain Answers is awesome. Okay, so let's cast this. Let's Thunderclap something, because I really want to just make a spawn here. So so I can do more things. Because now we can do this, cast this, draw a card, put a counter here, sacrifice this, make a spawn. We're just gonna like chain in a bunch of stuff. Sacrifice the spawn, make a wizard rockets. That's turn 4. Okay, cool. Get another counter here. Oh yes, this is great. All right, so we're gonna have to set up because we're kind of low on mana right now. So what we can do, we can just pay 0 and tap this to add 0 mana. Dies, make a spawn, draw a card. What else can we do? Now we've got 4. Got some good options, right? Like demand answers. Let's just get this out here because this is going to pay off, I think, big time as we move forward. Okay, that's interesting. So let's do this. We'll sacrifice this, make another spawn. We'll just kind of set up our spawns here. Put a counter on this. We'll sacrifice this, tap this, sacrifice this. We'll get a land. Take another one of those. These are just like good blockers too. Furnace is a good one. So now there's a couple things. I kind of want to draw some cards because we're kind of running dry here. Yeah. So let's do this. Let's demand answers. We'll discard a card. Say this one. Draw 2. There we go. Now we got some stuff. Artifact. Acre Wellspring. Wish we kind of kept this now because, like, actually, hold on. So, yeah, we'll do that. What did I do? Yeah, 2, sacrifice. Okay, so we pay 1. Cast this is cast for free. It says 4 counters now. We'll remove some counters. Make a golem. Or yeah, golem. Let's sacrifice this, make a spawn, surveil 2. These are not bad. We'll get rid of that one, keep this one, and then we'll draw a card, cast this for free, put a counter here. Alright. 3, 4, we'll just get this out there. Sacrifice this, make a spawn, get a land. Play that for turn, tap, sacrifice this, we'll draw a card, make another one of these. Thought I cut Warehouse Thief. I guess not. That's fine though. Retriever is actually really good here. Okay, great. And then we want to establish this thing. Once we start like getting more non-land cards, we'll get this Burning Prophet out there. But another one here, we can make another one of these. So it's like, you know, we've done a lot of stuff. Okay, now we're back here. So let's pay 2. We'll sacrifice this, draw a card, and then we'll exile top card. We can play that until end of turn. Let's just cast this, put a counter here. Actually, you know what we'll do first is we'll cast Arcbound Tracker. So it's 1, 2 mana. The centers of 2 counters. And then we'll cast this guy. So it's 2 more counters here. Oh no, 1 and then 2, okay. This is the second spell, so this gets a counter. Cast Seal of Fire, this gets another counter. Sacrifice Seal of Fire, make another one of these. We've got 5 mana available. We've got like a really threatening board now. We can do tap this. We can sacrifice Mirror Retriever, make one of these to get back like Wellspring probably. Just like to draw more cards. Cast this, Triggered here. Draw a card. It's 8 o'clock. Oh shoot, I gotta stop. But you get the idea. This is sick. This is the non-pinger version where it probably has a harder time winning, but it's so much fun. I like this deck a lot. This card's really cool. Thank you all for joining me. I kind of got carried away there at the end, taking game actions, but that's just, comes with the territory sometimes. As always, you can find the link to this deck in the description of the video, along with bookmark to all the decks we've built over the last year, coming up on a year almost, of doing these every single week. I think I missed 1 week out of all of them, which is pretty cool. Tons of decks to look at. And then under that, obviously, there are links to Turbo Project and Trans Lifeline. If you have the means with which to enter those organizations, I recommend that you do. Thank you, Bill. I appreciate you stopping by and enjoying my game actions. I'll see you all next week. Well, who knows what I'll build, but this was really great. I love this deck. This is fun. Have a wonderful week.